What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another The Family Chantel video, and this one right here, Season 4, Episode 9. But before we get into it, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, every single person that is a member of Patreon, and every single person that is a subscriber. Now with that being said, let's see exactly what went down this week with Chantel and Pedro.
I have made effort to appease Pedro. I have listened to him. I have supported his new job and tried to get to know his coworkers better. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. But I have tried, and he doesn't give me any credit for it. He feels like he's made so much progress with my family, and I haven't put forth the same effort. So I'm making it my priority to go to the Dominican Republic with the intention of talking to his family to figure something out. I'm willing to do anything at this point.
So let me get this straight. They've been married for X amount of years, and now Chantel wants to make an effort with his family. So why didn't she want to make the effort beforehand? It's not that she couldn't. You can't tell me just because the family behaved in this way and the family behaved in that way, you can't tell me that would have been a reason to stop her from trying to make an effort. Because at the end of the day, she's still making an effort despite everything that has happened. It means you could have made the effort way back. And in case you don't know, I did make a video breaking down their marriage, breaking down why their marriage ended up becoming, well, why it was a disaster and why it led to a divorce. And one of the reasons that I sat there, I said to you guys, I strongly believe that Chantel's mission was to remove Pedro away from his family because she wasn't a fan of them. But of course, if you watch that video, you can obviously get a more of an in-depth explanation of why I said that. So if you want to check that out, it is available on the channel. I believe it's linked, it's titled something about the devastation of their marriage or something like that. I don't know, but it's there somewhere. But either way though, just this scene itself alone and her saying this pretty much backs up my point even more, that she never had intentions of making friendly with the family in the first place. She just wanted to remove Pedro away from them so she can have him all to herself and have her family all to himself as well, if you know what I mean. But hey, let's continue.
I'm here. I told my parents that I'm going to Arizona to counseling with Pedro, and I told Pedro that I'm going to Michigan for a nursing convention with Winter. Hola. When I get back, I was the right thing to do. My very first flight coming to the DR, I was excited, I was in love. My relationship with Pedro was good, and today, I'm at the end of my rope, I'm rock bottom. Pedro wants a separation, and here I am alone, trying to make things right with his mother. I don't know how Lydia's gonna respond to me. I'm worried, actually. It's easy for me to lose my temper with Lydia because, you know, our interactions were not very nice in the past.
Tú eres un mal ejemplo como familia americana.
No pones el dedo en mi cara tampoco.
Tú tienes una mujer que no te respeta. Yo no te considero ni siquiera que tú eres esposa de Pedro Chantel.
But I'm gonna try my best this time to not engage in an argument with her. Pedro and I are soulmates. If he just wanted a green card, he would have been long gone. Pedro loves me, and he doesn't want a divorce. Deep down, I know that he just wants the good relationship that we had in the beginning. Stop, para, está aquí.
Damn, soulmates. Sorry, but what relationship have you been in recently? But let's put it this way. Let's just continue running with my own narrative. Okay, she says that they're soulmates, and she said that maybe she should have made a bigger effort in the beginning with his family. I say that the reason why she didn't do that was because she was trying to remove him from his family. So for someone that you see as a soulmate, so basically she was trying to take her soulmate away from the family rather than bring the soulmate into her life and also integrate her family with her family. I mean, here's the thing though, it's a good thing that she's made this trip by herself, because however this trip goes will obviously be the definition of what we sadly already know, is that they do obviously get divorced anyway, which is something that is happening. But depending on how this trip goes, given the fact that her mother isn't there, that is going to be a very key aspect of how this goes, because at the end of the day, we do know that Chantel can be one thing many times, but her mother has always been and always will be the biggest problem. And at the end of the day, if Chantel ever wants to be happy with anybody, she needs to keep her mother out of all of her freaking relationships. And that is just a fact. We ain't hiding from that. But it's going to be interesting to see how Chantel can conduct herself without her mother, and if she can bring herself to a level where she's going to be okay with Pedro's mother shouting, screaming, Pedro's sister even shouting and screaming, because, and I'm not saying that they have a right to do that, but if she's going there now, you know, to seek help and seek their support, expect them to be like, raw. Oh, so now you want to be family? Oh, so now you want to be friends? Right. But what about all these times, and then this time, and then that time? And you know how things can get elevated when people get passionate about all the frustrations that they've been through because somebody was just being a complete douche. So the question is, throughout that, is Chantel going to be able to keep it calm and composed and say, you know what? I apologize. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay, I know I'm wrong. Okay, I realize I should have never done that. Honestly, I hold my hands up. My mind wasn't in the right place. I was definitely doing these things for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Being apologetic, but also being accountable too. That is the best way this conversation can go for her to save her marriage with Pedro. But based on where we are right now, something tells me that whatever's about to come definitely doesn't go the way I'm saying that it should go or should have gone. Let's get it.
I didn't text Lydia or call her. I literally just hopped on a plane. I don't even know if she's gonna let me in, if she's gonna yell at me. Are we gonna have another fight? Is Nicole gonna be there? I'm only here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to talk to Lydia. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and my husband's not talking to me right now, so I'm literally just grasping for straws at this point.
Momento.
Oh, man.
Where is Chantel?
Michigan with her sister. They went together.
Oh, okay.
But how is she right now? Like overall?
Not good.
I completely respect her as a female in the sense that she felt there's some issues going on with you guys for sure.
Yeah.
But the way that she came at Anto, not okay with me.
Pedro, why are you come home with another lady's name on your key fob, Antonella? Do you see how that could get a rise out of me if he brought that home?
But like at first I was like, okay, I get where she's coming from. You know, I didn't know that there was personal problems going on.
That was crazy.
That was very uncomfortable. I apologize for that, guys. I don't know why Chantal's so yelled at Antonella. She knows that she's like 22, 21 years old. She's married with Daniel. She has a baby. All my co-workers have a relationship, married with children, and the partner, they're fine. They go to eat out or hang out, you know.
I find it so frustrating how he can easily apologize to his work colleagues, but he can never apologize to Chantel. Even if you don't love her no more, you don't want to be with her anymore, if you're doing wrong, you still be a man and still apologize and say that I've been acting out, I haven't been acting appropriate, you know, and that's because I don't want to be with you anymore. Like, be a man, don't be a douche. But anyway, let's continue. But I can't wait until we get back to Chantel, you know what I mean, and her getting to Pedro's mother's house. But for the time being, let's see what's going on with Pedro. Let's get it.
Does she just not like you hanging out with other people? Or not like you hanging out with us? But like, I don't know what the underlying issue is.
The underlying is like all the time, you know, I hang out with people, this is chica like that. Even with my family, that happened before. But now, I'm tired of this thing. I'm tired. I always want the best for her. Always. It was for my heart. You have a new job, you know, you have your things. Finally, you have your dream, you know what I mean? Like, because I appreciate the love they have for me. But like, hey, I need to do something for me too. Hey, I need to grow. I need to find something kind of enjoyment in my life.
It's kind of, you know, there's a lot of different parts to all this, but at the end of the day, it's black and white. You know, you love her?
Ah, I love her.
Yes or no?
I know now, like, for real now, a little bit, the way that she's been treating me right now, the way she treated me before, and the way treating her right now is a little bit complicated for me to answer the question.
You know what though? There could be a fine line where maybe somebody said in the comment where they believe that Pedro did love Chantel. Now there is a fine line sometimes, and from a man's perspective, sometimes if you're with a female and she's the breadwinner, a man that obviously wants to be the breadwinner, it can bother him for a while. And I've been in that position. And you you know, you have a goal of finally getting there, but then when you finally get to that stage of you being the breadwinner, sometimes your partners don't respond very well. But sometimes they get comfortable with the idea of that they are the breadwinner because it makes them feel more superior than you. That happens. And the second that you start to bring money in, all of a sudden, the dynamic changes, the attitude changes. I've been there. So there is truth in what he's saying. Whether there's truth in what I'm saying between him and Chantel, I'm not too sure. But there is truth in what he's saying in terms of that is a thing, 100%. I've been through that. But at the same time, though, there is this thing called balance, compromising, evolution. And I think for me, my issue was that I was evolving. As I was growing, I was evolving, I was changing the person that I was. The person that I was when I first met my ex wasn't the same person that I was when I left, because I built myself up over those years. The issue was that she didn't. When I met her, I met her at a stage where she was already in her element of having a job that paid a certain amount. Her career was sorted out. So evolution as a person for her was like stagnant. Didn't really see the need for it to evolve, which is fine. But the fact is though, if you've got a partner that is building and growing themselves, understand that when they're building and growing themselves, if you don't keep up with their mentally growing up, there's going to be a clash. Now, I don't know if that's the same situation that's happened with Pedro and Chantel, where maybe he has evolved himself mentally over the years because he went from not really working to just being, you know, this guy at home playing games, to then this guy who's no longer at home as much. He's now working, he's now making the money, he's now socializing. There is a case of where Chantel may have been used to the fact that he was generally always at home when she got back, and you know, maybe he wasn't socializing as much, and obviously he wasn't spending as much time out of the house. But because now obviously he's spending more time out of the house because he's got a job and whatnot, for some people, or some couples, it doesn't affect them well because they get used to that and they don't like it when they start to see their partner less. Even though that they saw them more when they wasn't really bringing much to the table and it annoyed them. When they do start bringing money, they still want them to still be there. But the fact is, when people elevate themselves or get into a job or, you know, something like that, and they start to meet new people, start to network and whatnot, or they start to work certain hours or start to get overtime, you're going to see people less. And that's why I think it's very important that if you're working a full-time job, you meet someone that's also working a full-time job. Because obviously, depending on who you are, of course, there are people that it doesn't really matter whether they're with someone who's got a full-time job or not. When they meet, and if they get there later on, you know, they're able to balance themselves because they have that good connection within their relationship. People that don't necessarily have that good connection, it's a bit peak. But at the same time, good connection isn't always the answer, because in my relationship, I had a good connection because I thrive on that. The issue was that she was struggling to adapt the fact that I was elevating myself in life, and my elevation became a fear of hers, because she felt like my me evolving was potentially going to attract other females. But then that became an insecurity of her own, nothing to do with us. You see what I'm saying? But that's what happens. So end of the day, I do feel what he's saying. There is some truth behind what he's saying, but obviously the reasons will be different within what he's saying himself in particular. But hey, interesting stuff. Yeah, let's continue.
So what do you want to do now? You want to separate?
It's very hard to her. I don't know.
So you want to stay with her just to take care of her?
I know they have problems or whatever, but I don't want anything bad happen to her. Either way. It's too much. It's too much. I'm very sad. I'm very sad.
Let's go inside. I'm freezing.
It just seems right now that my marriage is falling apart, you know. I know they have my problems. I'm a perfect husband, you know. I'm terrible with my communication. But I still hoping to save my marriage.
Come on, buddy.
Ok.
Let's go.
Vamos
inside.
adentro. Sí,
Vamos,
perfecto.
sí.
Sorpresa.
He was still hoping to save his marriage. Now that could just be for TV, but I'll say this though. The relationship was doomed now at this point. Too much damage has been done on both sides of the family. And at the end of the day, he's at a stage where no matter what Chantel does, it's never going to be good enough for him anymore. Why? Because he's at a different stage in his life. When you're at a different stage in your life, and then someone starts to do things that you want them to do beforehand, the problem is that they're doing things that you want them to do before you got to that stage. So then them doing that is never going to be enough. They need to now catch up to where you're at. And that's why it's important that in relationships, you should always stay at a very good pace together, at a similar pace. One should be going up here and one should be staying here, because when this one goes up and this one is staying there, it's a problem. That's why I say to people, like, when you go on a break, I don't believe in breaks. But look at it this way. Let's say you've got an argument between you and your partner. Okay? You obviously decide to go separate ways. You decide to go on a break or whatever, right? Or just split up in general. Understand this. Whatever you was telling your partner that you want them to change, let's say you're broken up for about a month, 2 months, 3 months to a year. Remember, even if your partner was to change everything that you want them to change, by the time you get back with them, the things that you wanted to change, yeah, they would have changed because you would have progressed yourself since then. So when you go back with them, you'll be like, oh, this is nice that you're doing these things. But by them, but also at that time, your expectations have now risen as well, potentially. Process that. But anyway, let's continue. Chantel is finally here now. Let's get into it.
Por favor. Puede entrar.
Adelante.
Ok. Ok. ¿Te puedes sentar, Chantal? Ok. Ok.
sorprendida que estés aquí. ¿Estás sola?
Sí.
¿Dónde piensa Pedro que tú estás ahora?
Yo dar un mentir a Pedro. Bueno, yo sabía que si yo dijera a él que quiero ir a hablar contigo, él no va a dejarme sola.
Que tú quieres hablar conmigo.
Pedro y yo no somos haciendo bien ahora mismo. Él me dice que él siente como él intenta arreglar cosas con mi familia y yo no. Pero yo estoy esperando que con una conversación contigo podemos comenzar a arreglar nuestra relación. Pedro, a ver qué estoy intentando. Mis intenciones son puras y bueno, y no quiero, no, de verdad, no quiero discutir.
¿Y qué es lo que pasa con Pedro?
Desde la última vez que fuimos aquí con Pedro, con mi familia y todo, Pedro nunca era lo mismo. Las cosas con padre, creo que está afectándolo. Sus sentimientos fue todo el día de ese hombre y ya está afectándolo y nuestra relación.
No, es que eso no tiene nada que ver. Con todas las diferencias que ella tiene conmigo, que ella no quiere hablar conmigo, que ella no quiere nada con la mamá de Pedro, ella llegará a mi puerta. Para mí fue muy sorprendente. Pienso que está equivocada cuando ella dice que Pedro llegó cambiado a Atlanta y creo que ella busca excusa. Lo que debe ser es analizarse ella.
Él no está feliz. Y no sé qué hacer.
Have a roster.
Looking peak right now, but boy, let's see where this goes.
Él no está feliz. Y no sé qué hacer.
Tendría que preguntarle cuál es la causa de lo que le esté pasando.
Él no me dice cuando yo pregunto. Yo siempre pregunto.
¿Él no quiere hablar contigo?
No quiere hablar. Creo que muchas cosas cambian. Él es muy ocupado con trabajando.
Siempre está en negocios, pero también hay que dedicarte vida para ti, familiar. Quizás si tienes un hijo, las cosas entonces te hagan más diferente. Eso le ayudaría y le va a fortalecer el matrimonio.
Él me dice, él no quiere tener hijos hasta 5 o 7 años. Although I do want to have children, I don't think that would help anything right now. I don't want to have a child and raise them by myself because that's what I don't want to do. Tengo algo para ti.
¿Para mí?
Sí. Espero que le guste.
Oh, muchas gracias, Chantel. Muy lindo. Gracias.
Pedro's mom likes gifts. So naturally, I didn't want to come empty-handed. I wanted to respect his mom and respect for the culture.
A pesar de todas las situaciones que han pasado, realmente, no sé, tu familia no le agrada a mi familia. A pesar de todo eso, yo quiero que ustedes pues sigan unidos.
Gracias, eso es todo el mundo para mí. Gracias.
Hace un par de semanas tuve una conversación con Pedro.
Cosas no están muy bien que digamos.
El problema aquí es Chantel. Ella es una egoísta. Suéltale, banda.
Yo no le aconsejé que se separara. Pero al ver a Chantal en la puerta hoy, quiere tener una relación con mi familia, decidí apoyarla. Que veo que ella tiene la decisión de que quiere restaurar su matrimonio. Yo quiero que usted o tú luche por resolver esa situación.
For once, I feel like the best case scenario has happened. This is as smooth as it could have gone, and I'm surprised, honestly, I'm very surprised. There was no arguing, there was no back and forth.
¿Y dónde te vas a quedar?
Voy a la hotel que siempre estoy cuando vengo aquí.
Okay.
Y de verdad tengo un coche esperándome abajo. I never felt the support from Lydia for me and Pedro to actually work, so to hear that come from her mouth, I'm really, really happy. She supports our marriage. Adios.
Bye. Cuídate mucho.
I want a good relationship with my mother-in-law. I'm willing to do anything at this point for my marriage. Hopefully, Pedro will see my efforts, see that I'm trying to make things better with his family the way he says that he does with mine, and that I'm willing to put in the work for our marriage.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Chantel. I'm not gonna lie to you. There is this thing called sometimes it's a bit too late. Personally, I don't think making the efforts of the family is enough. Because if it's something that's been requested numerous times before, then why would it matter now? Yeah, I think it's been way too long overdue. But you never know though, eh? You never know. But hey, let's see what else is to come.
Hola, ¿cómo tú estás? Chantel aparenta que está dolida. Como mujer, me puse un poco de su lado. Pero sentí mayor curiosidad de ver qué versión también tenía Pedro. Oye, ¿tú sabes quién está aquí? ¿Sabes quién está aquí? Tu esposa Chantel.
Yo que sabía que hacer ya ahora mismo, ¿y qué hacer ya? Dime, ¿qué hablar contigo?
Ella vino a limar las asperezas, que ella tiene situaciones con la familia, que quería hacer una conversación porque no le presta atención, y trabaja y trabaja.
¿Cómo va para allá a hablar contigo? Eso a mí me disgustó ya. ¿Cómo iba para allá a hablar contigo a mi espalda si así me da?
Ah, yo no sé, pero mira, me compré estos lentes, unos Gucci. ¿Está mirando? ¿Lo está mirando bien?
My mind like a chapeadora, gold digger, my mind like to get gift. And Chantel know that. If she try to send my marriage, you don't need to bring sunglasses or bring things to my mom. Just bring your heart, and that's it. Not try to put my mom against me. Yo dije a ella que no iban a dejar, yo se lo dije a ella.
Ya, ok. ¿Y la cosa tan fuerte?
Y el otro día hice un show a la compañera de mi trabajo.
¿Cómo así?
Yo estaba comiendo con mi compañero de trabajo, ¿verdad que sí? Entonces ella fue, llegó y comenzó a hablar acerca de mí, la relación, que la culpa, que yo me paso todo el tiempo con mi compañera de trabajo, de un show me hizo.
Ella no me ha dicho nada de eso, simplemente ella me dijo lo que le conviene entonces.
Háblate con ella entonces y pregúntale porque ella no está siendo muy sincera contigo.
Tiene un nuevo trabajo y ya él no tiene tiempo para nada. Yo lo he llamado yo misma y siempre está que tengo un cliente que te llama ahorita. Entonces entiendo que Chantal por ese lado tenga la razón. Pero yo diría una vergüenza con los compañeros de trabajo, eso no es correcto.
Yo le pregunté, ¿qué te hizo cambiar tu mente acerca de ella?
No, yo no he cambiado así. Yo lo que pasa es que tengo que escucharla y darle una oportunidad. Porque tú no ganas nada con escucharla. Simplemente hay que saber qué es lo que ella quiere.
¿Vas a ir con ella hoy?
Que si voy a salir con ella. No,
Sí.
a lo mejor está esperando que, no sé.
Mira, el día de mañana hay demasiada que hacer. Tenemos como 5 cierres. Y entonces yo mañana, yo hablo con mi jefe, le voy a decir que me voy para allá mañana.
Bueno, pero vamos a ver si podemos hablar juntos. Vamos a reunirnos con ella para que ella lo hable delante de ti. ¿Tú no crees que sea mejor?
I plan to leave the quick like I go there because like I don't want Chantel try to take control. Try to say that she need to go there because she wanna make home with my mom now. We have some problem. Probably even worse. Don't tell me that that's your last card that you have to play.
Ella no sabe que tú vienes y yo no le voy a decir nada tampoco.
Mañana yo vengo ya.
Nos vemos mañana
Yo vengo mañana.
y podemos hablar de todas las cosas.
Ok, perfecto.
Vamos a hacerlo así.
I did just say there is a saying, sometimes it's just a little bit too late. And bear in mind at the very beginning of the video as well, I also spoke about how, well, why is it now you finally want to make an effort with his family? That is something that she should have been trying to make happen a long time ago. You know, and the fact that she's doing it now, it's just a bit too late. So I'm not surprised that Pedro is furious. You know, he's obviously, not happy. Obviously in this one, he's obviously told his mom that Chantel turned up to his work and embarrassed him. Should Chantel have told the mom that? Yes. Why? Because it was a recent event. Because to be fair, in the conversation that Chantel was having with the mother about why she's here to help, why she was here, she's here because she needs your help to save the marriage. And then Chantel could have been like, recently I did turn up to his work and I got the impression that I embarrassed him because he wasn't happy with me. And then after that, when we came home, that's when, Pedro decided to say that he wanted to take a break or have a separation, and obviously my actions at his workplace probably wasn't my best thing. And I think it would have been very important to do that because at least the mum would have known what she was walking into. She's walked into a conversation with Pedro blindsided. Now, at the end of the day, there's no one else you can tell me that Chantel did not expect Pedro's mother to call Pedro. Because if she didn't expect Pedro's mother to call Pedro, then she has been with a man for God knows how many years and hasn't learned that his mother is going to call her own son. Bear in mind that if the shoe wasn't on the foot, she knows that if it was Pedro that would have gone to her mother would have rang her real quick. So you can't give me that excuse of she didn't know. But at the end of the day, whether she knew or didn't know, it's important to always give all the information forward to someone who you're seeking help from. Don't give them a story and then miss out aspects of it of why you're potentially going through a separation, why your hubby or your partner has said X, Y, Z. Full context is the best way, But it looks like Pedro is on his way. Wow. Okay, let's get it.
DR at this point because I'm waiting for my next opportunity to meet up with Lydia. Knowing how everything went down yesterday, it makes me feel hopeful. Her reaction wasn't what I was expecting, but it was what I was hoping for. I don't know. Maybe then Pedro will see that this was the right thing for me to do.
¿Y qué Chantal hace en la puerta?
Ella vino a hablar algo conmigo, que ella...
¿Hablar qué contigo?
Ella vino a que tiene problemas con Pedro.
¿Y Pedro está aquí?
No, Pedro no está aquí.
Suerte que yo no estaba aquí.
Sí.
Desde que mi mamá se dio cuenta de que Alejandro estuvo aquí en República Dominicana, mi mamá y yo ahora mismo tenemos una pésima relación. Entonces, cuando mi madre me llamó a su cuarto, pensé que era para hablarme de Alejandro o decirme algún tipo de cosa mala, no sé. Pero, en realidad, el chisme une a la gente. Y yo creo que, en este caso, el chisme me está uniendo con mi mamá.
Ella dice que Pedro no le presta atención, que nada más trabaja, que no hacen nada en común.
Pero yo no entiendo por
No
qué
sé.
ahora ella entiende que tú la puedes ayudar si ella nunca ha tratado de tener una relación contigo ni nada. O sea, no sé.
Que ella entiende que ahora yo le sirvo.
No sé qué me resulta más extraño, si el hecho de que mi mamá me hable o el hecho de que Chantal esté aquí y que buscando el apoyo de ella. Eso es como que algo como que, ¿what? ¿Y en qué momento el mundo dio esa vuelta?
Después que yo escuché la versión de ella,
Claro, la víctima.
sí, entonces yo decidí llamar a Pedro. Pero Pedro me dice que el grupo con la persona que él trabaja ya fue donde él estaba y le hizo un show.
¿Por qué no? Que se divorcie de esta
Todo. A
mujer.
todos los compañeros de trabajo le hizo pasar
No, pero qué vergüenza.
Y algo que no quiere que él avance, que él crezca, que él se desarrolle como persona, sino que se quede como mediocre.
Por miedo a que la dejen. Ella quiere tener una pareja donde ella sea la estrella, donde ella lo sea todo, ella como un estúpido. Entonces, lamentablemente, Pedro no es ese tipo de hombre. Pedro es un hombre que es muy trabajador.
No, y que tiene muchos proyectos.
Él
Y
tiene-
ella no tiene proyectos,
Ella no tiene-
tiene metas.
Lo de Chantal es tener las uñas arregladas y el pelo arreglado y está maquillado. O sea, ¿qué más ella quiere? Yo siempre te lo dije a ti, ese matrimonio se va a ir a la...
Pedro me contó y él va a comprar un vuelo y él va a llegar hoy.
I mean, here's the thing. The matter of fact is, Nicole's opinion is actually freaking relevant. Reason being is because, you see, she is the sister. And I think that when you are someone's sibling, yes, it's important to keep things 100 with your siblings. But I think it's also important to mind your own freaking business. And the reason I say that is because, you see, if the shoe was on the other foot, she wouldn't be having it. Look at it this way. Pedro has already had his own fair share of issues with Alejandro. But what's Nicole doing right now? She's back in contact with who? Alejandro. And also on top of that, Nicole's Alejandro also has had his own fair share of issues with Nicole's mother too. But what's Nicole doing? Still having conversations with Alejandro. And because she's having that type of energy, she has not got a single right to say anything to Pedro or even her mother about Chantel, because it's not like she's making the right choices on her own accord anyway. And let's not forget, at this moment in time, she is currently pregnant. And I don't even know if she's even told her mum yet. From what I can see, she hasn't. So really and truly, Nicole, as much as you like to get yourself involved, be quiet, because everything that you're saying is literally dismissible. Is it dismissible? Anyway, let's continue. Yeah.
I'm here today because my mom called me yesterday that Chantal is here in the DR. So Chantal lied to me. She said to me that she's going to the Michigan, but instead she went here to the DR to try to talk to my mom about our problems. I flew to the Republic because I know Chantal not talking about anything that she's been doing wrong these days. She only threw me under the bus and she tried to say her ass like, why you tell my mom my business? Like, hey, I don't want my mom only listen to Chantel version because Chantel always want to be the victim. She always
I mean, to be fair, those are some valid points as well. If Chantel's blaming everything on Pedro and saying that Pedro's doing this, Pedro's doing that, and she's not talking about herself in any kind of way, and he's talking about her actions, I understand why he'd be absolutely irate with her behavior. Well, we can definitely see how it all ended up planning out. So to be fair, it does make it quite interesting, because everything that we're hearing now, the allegations and everything during the divorce, it does make it interesting if Chantel's actions at this moment in time are built on just... what's the word I'm looking for here? They're built on... It'd be interesting if all the allegations that we're hearing right now are not built on the truth, but they're more built on just... No, hate is the word. Damn it, I had the word in my head. You know the word I'm thinking about? Put down in the comment section, please. But despite him, no. But let's continue.
And now that she needs help with my mom, now she tries to be the best friend with my mom, while she never wants to talk about with my mom. And she knows that my mom can influence on me sometimes to help me to change my mind about things. And maybe right now Chantel need my mom, my mom support him, you know what I mean? And that's the point of life. Last time that we're here trying to find, it was like no mercy with me. And now that Chantel come here with a pot of glasses, Gucci glasses in her hands, everything's fine right now. Like, how you do that to me? Like,
this relationship is over. Because I tell you this now, this is a man that has thought about every single thing possible. Every single angle of why Chantel has done this, and he is pointing at every single reason. And they're correct at this moment in time. I'm telling you now, once a man has these things in his head, it's game over. I know. Because he's already pointing out that she's only flown there as a last chance resort, which Chantel has already said. He already knows that she's already flown there to get his mom's help because his mom is an influence on him. Chantel's already said that. Okay, he's already said that. So now you want to be, so now you want to make a relationship with my mother. That's something that I already said that. Also, now you want to do it. Why didn't you do before? So he's already analyzing that too. Those are 3 points already right there. He's already analyzed amongst others as well. That he's also, only tell the story that benefits her, doesn't benefit him. That's what Chantel's exactly done. That's 4 points right there. And there's a few others too. The fact that he's already analyzed her why she's made this move, yeah, it's peak. Relationship's done. Done. Even if we didn't get the information that we have that the relationship is done, I would have said to you right now, this is done. There's no coming back. Because he's already got it in his head. That means he's now looking for her to do something out of the box. Something that he doesn't see coming to save the relationship. Sadly, she's not done any of the things that's out of the box. She's done exactly everything that he would expect her to do. Because he knows that she's only going to do them as a desperation act. Not as an act of actual love. Not as an act of actually, do you know what, I'm wrong. Not as an act of, do you know what, let me hold myself accountable. No wonder why the guy never wants to say sorry to Chantel. God damn, this episode is quite interesting. The tables have turned. Chantel, you've messed up pretty much, despite what we know and what we believe. From a man's perspective, it's done out here.
Watching with hair, bro, you're not going back to your son. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty busy right now with my new job, and I don't have time to come in here to spend time, try to fit new Chantel and my mom right now. She not expect anything about me. Like, no, she had no respect for me. No respect. She acted like a little girl right now. She acted like a little girl. That she wanted to be chased all the time. We stay in the same hotel all the time, and I bet my life, my money, I bet my balls I want to find Chantel in that place. Muchas gracias. After last time we went to the ER, after the fight, I started to talk to my mom. I started to talk to my sister because I decided, okay, I'm with my wife 100%. I got you back. I regret right now giving my family for Chantel. My family is the most pressure they have to me. In the end, they give up my family for you, and you tell that like a for granted too. That doesn't mean anything to you. Right now, I'm more angry than I used to be before. She lied to me in my own face, not my back, in my own face. To go to here, try to talk to my mother about our business. Chantel doesn't know how to face things sometimes. She do things and she doesn't think it through. I can't take this any longer. ¿Qué estás haciendo aquí?
And it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I cannot wait for next week's episode. I believe next week's episode is the last episode of the season. I believe so. Ooh-wee. Chantel, you're gonna mess up, girl. You're gonna mess up. Well, I've said enough in this video that was very, 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 very informative. I hope you guys obviously learned a few things here and there, and I definitely look forward to reading your comments down below and also your perspective as well of things that maybe you would have seen differently if you dig what I'm saying. But hey, thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and peace.